Hi there everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I've been using a different video camera. As you can probably see, the quality is slightly different. I'm having to use my webcam for this video instead of my normal DSLR and tripod because my tripod actually just broke as I was using it and very nearly broke my camera as well. So I'm going to have to go and get a new one of those, but that's fine for the time being because this is just a quick sort of commentary and demonstration as to how I conquered Sephiroth's EX quest on Dissidia Opera Omnia. Now, originally I was going to use a completely different team from this, and I wasn't going to pull on Sephiroth's banner at all, because Sephiroth's kind of a bit of a red herring. Yeah, he's really, really good right now, but in about a month's time we're going to be getting the level 60s and Awakenings, and realistically we should all be saving up for that. But I kind of caved, and Sephiroth is just really, really cool, and I've been wanting Vincent's weapons for a little while. I already have Eiko, but I thought, well, do you know what, I'll give it a go. So I spent about 10 tickets, I think, and that's it. And I didn't get, I got a couple of bits, but nothing major. And then I did an 11 pull, and it came out pretty amazing, actually. Like, I don't think I've ever had luck quite like this in a gacha game before. Not Opera Omnia, not Brave Exvius, not Record Keeper, none of them. None of them have quite looked like this before. So I was very, very fortunate to get Vincent and Sephiroth's 35 CP weapons, and we now get given the 15 CP weapon of a featured character within the event itself. So I have Sephiroth's 15 CP weapon as well. So I had to kind of pool all my resources together, all my power stats, and I thought, you know what, I thought it would be really fun to use a full synergy team for this event. Now, obviously, I understand that not everybody's going to have access to this kind of thing, but I think the strategy that I've employed for this particular event is actually quite an interesting one, and a lot of people might be able to do this. Basically, with the ads and such, it's the same with all of the EX banners. You kind of want to get through the event with using as few skill uses as physically possible. Now, I've actually used a Sazh friend unit here, which, I know a lot of people or a couple of people who watched my video last time said, oh, you've taken the easy route by using Sazh. And, yeah, I kind of did. I'd run out of my Sazh friend units. I did try to use a team that wasn't using him, but I did run out of my friend units once, so I decided to use my own. But I wanted to show that you don't have to have that character in order to complete this. And this is definitely one of the hardest EX banners, or EX quests that we've had so far in Opera Omnia. Eiko, however, is extremely important, and she does so much work in practically every EX banner. I think that her HP regen is a great way to start the fight, so I decided to start with that. And I also used 2 uses of Octaslash from Sephiroth, because what happens when Sephiroth uses it is he gets stacks of Genova, which means that his max bravery and his attack goes up each time he uses it. And because it's a framed buff, much like, say, Yuna, then it stacks with other buffs, so it stacks with Sazh, it stacks with Eiko's HP regen, which is smaller, but it carries you through the entirety of the ads phase. The only kind of hiccup that you're going to have is going to be stage 3, where you have 2 mannikins, one for Tidus and one for Terra. But honestly, as long as you rush down Tidus quite quickly, I use one of my Octaslash uses on him, then you often find that it's going to be fine. And there are so many characters that can do something similar. Like, you don't have to use Sephiroth. He's obviously going to be the strongest character for this particular event because he gets the synergy bonus. But Squall could probably do it, Varn could probably do it. You know, there's quite a lot of characters that can do this. So once that's all done and out of the way, you obviously don't want to use your summon. But skipping ahead to the actual fight itself, what I decided to do is I decided to try and employ a really different strategy, because I had tried this event a couple of times already and failed, and I realised that the reason for it was that, and I think this only works with people who have Vincent, by the way, Ramza's Galvanize makes Sephiroth a much, much bigger threat than he has any right to be, and obviously in combination with Vincent's attack down or debuff, you can make it so that Sephiroth hits like a wet noodle as long as he doesn't have the Galvanize buff. So I thought, well, why not rush down Ramza as quickly as possible, preferably before he ever even gets to use Galvanize. Now, as you can see while I'm playing through this, that doesn't quite go to plan. I end up using my summon really early, and it gets a bit hairy. But I do think that this is entirely possible. Perhaps I pressed the wrong buttons, perhaps I didn't. I mean, my Vincent has 0 limit breaks on his 35 CP, because I only just got it, and any power stones I had went to Sephiroth. And Vincent's 15 as well, but I do think that it's entirely possible. Generally speaking, though, I think that if you've got a team that's solid enough to take this at all, so I think you're going to need a combination of Eiko and Sephiroth, Sazh and Sephiroth, or Eiko and Sazh, realistically speaking. I think you're going to really struggle if you don't have at least one or two of those three characters with this particular event. You want to concentrate on Sephiroth primarily because he is the big threat. Ramza, you can actually leave till last. I chose not to do that while I was doing this event, but you can usually leave him till last because he himself isn't that much of a threat. Once he's applied his buff, it's there, and there's not a lot you're going to be able to do about it. So you might as well take the bigger threats out. Zidane is more of an irritation than anything. And HP regen, again, comes in extremely handy because Zidane is going to use his free energy pretty damn frequently. And it's going to be a little while before you can regulate the damage that you need in order to take all three of them out. The Sephiroth's Black Materia is very important to note that it will only hit bravery if you have bravery to begin with. So if he's about to use Black Materia, which you can always see because it's the only attack he has that targets all of your characters, so if you get the little all icon appear next to his name, then or next to his bravery bar, then you know the Black Materia is coming. It's not going to deal any damage to bravery damage to you if you don't have any bravery to begin with. So it's a good time if it's safe. Obviously, you've got two other characters to worry about. To start HP attacking Sephiroth if you think that he's going to use Black Materia. Now, you've also got to be very, very careful because some of his stuff, like, I mean, I actually get Heartless Angel once, which really threw me off because I didn't see him use that once the last time I fought him, or the last two times I fought him even, and he takes out about 22,000 bravery off of my Sephiroth, which was not particularly pleasant. But he can really, really throw you for a loop, so you've got to kind of build it up and throw it away pretty quickly, preferably before he gets his turn. But as long as you can keep Sephiroth, keep your characters from getting broken by Sephiroth, then you'll probably be fine for the rest of the fight. But the fact of the matter is that he can build bravery so quickly, and he can just kill one of your characters instantly. If he uses Octaslash, it's almost guaranteed to kill one of your characters. And that mentality was why I decided to bring Vincent with me, as well as try and take out Ramza as quickly as possible. Because once that Ramza's buff is worn out, you can see I take out Ramza first in this particular fight. Then Sephiroth isn't going to hit nearly as hard because of live wire shot. And then I actually managed to get through a lot of this fight with some of my skills still intact. I tried not to use Eiko's Smite as frequently as possible. I really tried not to use it until right at the end of the fight, because I think that having Smite uses near the end means that your longevity within any fight is that much longer than if you just tried to blitz them all early. I mean, I did try and blitz a lot of mine early to try and kill Ramza before his first move, but that didn't happen. But what I wanted to show with this video in particular is the fact that yes, you can make mistakes and it's not a complete throwaway. You can come back from something that you've miscalculated, or, you know, it's not the end of the world. Yes, I was very, very lucky in my pull, and I got all three of the synergy characters, but as long as you get Eiko, honestly, a lot of the hard content in Opera Omnia becomes that much easier. A lot of people talk about Sazh as like the MVP of the world, Emperor God Sazh. Everyone's seen the memes, and anyone who's part of the Reddit community, etc., has seen the memes, etc. But I honestly think that Eiko is as important, if not more so, than he is. I think her longevity in hard fights with HP regen means you can get off to a really good start. It means that you'll be able to maintain your Ifrit buffs for much, much longer because you're always going to be at maximum health. And I think that her smites just make your late game that much stronger. Sephiroth, now that I've played around with him a little bit and used him in this particular fight, I probably shouldn't have pulled for him in the first place. Yes, he helped me an awful lot in this particular fight, but he is just a damage dealer. He's a very, very hard-hitting damage dealer, and he's very, very cool because he's Sephiroth, but anything that he can do, once Squall gets his level 60 awakening, he's going to be able to do better. So if you have access to Squall, or a lot of other characters that are just pure damage dealers, like Varn, or, well, as I said, Squall, then you probably might not need Sephiroth, but if you're lacking anything, in particular on this banner, then Eiko is definitely worth searching for. Vincent is a character I've actually been looking for quite a while, but unfortunately I think the team that I had planned for him is now kind of a little bit outdated. I wanted to use him with Lightning and Cryle so that I had like a Lightning debuff and then a weakness plus damage on Cryle, and then obviously Lightning was going to hit like a truck. But now that Lightning's probably not as powerful as she once was, and she doesn't see as much play as she once did, that team's probably not going to be as strong. However, Vincent's attack power debuff is extremely powerful, and I probably wouldn't have done nearly as well in this fight without it. So I would very, very highly recommend pulling on this banner if you don't have access to Eiko or Sazh, because I think that your consolation prizes for not getting Eiko are significantly better than some of the other banners that she's been in. I think that, you know, all three of them are very, very usable characters. I don't think any of them are bad. I just think that like with the Awakenings and the level 60s on the horizon, I think that it's quite difficult to recommend pulling on it if you already have Eiko. Again, I know that I did that, but I'm quite happy to put money into the game if I need to. If you're a free-to-play character, then this might be one worth skipping. That being said, Sephiroth is very, very cool, and I very, very much enjoyed using him. But I wanted to talk about some of the other characters that are very, very viable in this. I feel that Prish would do quite well in this, simply because her moveset allows for a lot of longevity. And she can, like, you know, keep up her fight. Anyone that can kind of have access to Brave Attack Plus or HP Attack Plus will do quite well here, because the fight is long. This video is going to be quite long, because the fight itself is long. Papalymo, similarly, his burst damage is just very, very strong. Especially if you have access to Vincent, because you can debuff their fire resistance, which means your Astral Fires will do a lot more damage. Similarly with Prish, her Howling Fire attacks are going to do a lot more damage if you have access to Vincent. Basically, as I said earlier, I think that you will struggle with this if you don't have access to at least Eiko and or Sazh or Sephiroth. Purely because the damage power, or the amount of damage you're going to take is going to be there, and you need that health regeneration. Aerith might work in place of her, but I don't think that she's going to have enough charges in order to carry you through the entire fight. Whereas HP regen is just a consistent thing for, you know, if she has 3 or 4 HP regen stacks, then or ability uses, then that's at least 30 to 40 turns worth of HP regeneration and at least a small attack buff. So if you don't have access to Sazh, you're still going to get something. Now, when I used Sazh, I used it in a desperate rush to try and get rid of Ramza. However, I do think that if you have him, or if you have access to him in a friend unit, using him in the mid-game is probably better. Using it once you've got Sephiroth stacks to 5 at the very least, because then you're getting the most out of the attack power, you're getting the most out of the max bravery buff, and I think that it's really, really important for you to make, if you're going to use Sephiroth, just make him as physically powerful as possible, so that every hit that he does counts. So that's going to be it for this particular video. Thank you very much for watching, and I do hope that this video does help you with some strategies for your own teams for Sephiroth's EX banner. Now, I obviously don't expect everyone who's watching this video to have access to Sephiroth, Vincent, and Eiko all at once. I was very, very fortunate, and I'm very much counting my blessings, because the last couple of banners have been very nice to me on this game. But I'm hoping that if you have even access to one of them, then it will give you a reason to want to pull, like, then it will give you a reason to want to use them. If you have none of them, then it might give you a reason to want to pull for at least Eiko, because I think that that character is extremely good, and her longevity is going to last even through to the level 60s and Awakening sort of lifespan of the game. But as I said, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon, and I'll be posting more videos on Opera Omnia and for Final Fantasy TCG. We've got loads of spoilers for Opus 7 that have just come up, and I will be present at some of the bigger tournaments and events this year, or for the rest of the year, so hopefully I'll see some of you guys there. Anyways, thanks again, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye now.